You ever wonder what's really going on inside the mind of an AI like ChatGPT? I mean, we see these incredible, almost magical results, but the process behind them, it can feel like a total mystery. Well, today, we're going to pull back that curtain. So let's just jump right in with the big question. How does an AI like this actually think? Or, maybe a better question is, does it even think at all? To figure that out, we really need to look inside. And this is exactly what people mean when they talk about the black box problem. We get these amazing human-like answers, but the how and the why, it feels completely hidden from us. So where do we even begin to understand what's happening in there? All right, so let's break down this black box problem a little more and really get into why it's been so tough for most of us to get a peek inside. A huge part of the problem is that if you try to learn about transformers, that's the architecture behind models like ChatGPT, the resources out there are pretty intimidating. They either throw a ton of complex math at you, or they're tools built by AI researchers for AI researchers, not for the rest of us. And that creates this massive gap between the theory and what the AI is actually doing, click by click, to generate text. But what if we could change that? What if there was a key to unlock that black box so we could finally see the machinery inside for ourselves? Well, a team of researchers from Georgia Tech and IBM decided to build that exact key. They created, and I'm quoting them here, an interactive visualization tool designed for non-experts. And they gave it the perfect name, the Transformer Explainer. And this is what makes it such a game changer for learning. You don't need some super powerful computer, you don't need a degree in computer science. It just runs right in your web browser. No installation, no coding skills needed. And it's all built on GPT-2, which is a foundational model that makes these big, complex ideas way more accessible to everyone. Okay, enough talk. Let's take this thing for a spin. Here's a quick look at how the tool actually breaks down that mysterious AI process. Using it is honestly as simple as 1, 2, 3. First, you type in any sentence you want. Second, you get to watch in real time as the tool shows your words flowing through all the different layers of the model. And third, and this is the really cool part, you can click on any step to expand it and see the actual math happening underneath. Now, the tool uses a special kind of chart called a Sankey diagram. Don't worry about the name. All you need to know is that it's perfect for showing flow. It lets you literally see your words getting processed and transformed step by step as they travel through the AI's architecture. It's like a river, and you can see where all the currents are going. One of the coolest interactive features is this little slider that lets you control something called temperature. Now, you've probably heard this term before. It's often called the creativity knob for an AI. But what is it actually doing? And here's the big insight the tool gives you. Temperature isn't really about creativity. It's all about probability. If you set a low temperature, the model gets really focused. It just picks the most likely next word, making its answers super predictable. But if you crank that temperature up, it starts to consider more options, even the wild ones. This makes the output more random. And, well, that's what we see as creative. This ability to just play around with the settings builds a whole new kind of understanding. By interacting with the tool, we can finally shift our whole perspective from seeing AI as some kind of magic to understanding it's just math. The creators of the tool actually told a story about a Professor Rousseau who uses it in her classroom. And her whole goal is to show her students that there's no sorcery here. It doesn't matter what you type in. The model is just following a very strict, well-defined sequence of mathematical operations to figure out what word comes next. So let's nail this down, because it's the most important point. When we say an AI is being creative, what's actually happening under the hood is that a setting like temperature is just changing the shape of a probability graph. It's not thinking. It's calculating. And this tool finally lets you see that calculation happen with your own eyes. So as we start to wrap up, what are the most important things you should take away from this little journey inside the black box? Well, the biggest takeaway is simply that the AI black box can be opened. We don't have to be mystified by it anymore. By using interactive tools like this one, we can build a real gut feeling for how it all works. We can see that even the most complex systems are really just a series of simple, understandable steps. And maybe most importantly, this proves that anyone can grasp the core concepts that are shaping our world. You don't need a programming degree for this.
And you know, the best part is, this isn't just some theoretical concept I'm telling you about. The Transformer Explainer is real, it's open source, and it's online for you to use right now. You can go play with it yourself right after this.
And that leaves us with one final and really important question. For so long, the challenge was just getting a peek inside the box. But now that we can, the new challenge is, what should we be looking for? What questions should we be asking about how these models work, how they might be biased, and how they're really making their decisions? That, right there, is the next frontier.